August of 2021, there was a huge evacuation from Kabul when the US pulled out. And about 74,000 Afghans left Kabul.
I was living in Afghanistan, Kabul. I lost my dad when he was working with the Afghan government, and Taliban one day was very emotional for me. Came to their office, to his office, and killed him.
Most of the people who left Afghanistan, it was for a reason, because they were working with the government.
And having a history of working with refugees and asylees in Colorado, former clients started to reach out to me. How do I get my family here? How do I get my parents here? How do I get my brothers and sisters here?
I was working in Afghanistan parliament, and there was American women, 7 of them. And then when they was leaving Afghanistan, they called me and they said, "We are leaving. If you want to go with us, just go right now with us." And that's how I came here in the United States.
We are happy that we start a new life in the US.
They very welcomed me to Denver, and some people, and I got job, and I'm very happy. I'm working right now.
It became apparent very early on that Afghans who were coming to the United States as a part of the evacuation wouldn't have a secure status.
And in immigration, lots of people don't understand this. You can't just walk into the United States. You have to have some sort of status if you're going to be here legally.
There were so many dealing with huge issues: how to eat, how to find apartments, how to get jobs, how to get their kids in school. And this was a piece, but a crucial one, because it was going to keep them from being sent back.
So it's really difficult for a person that coming from a different culture, from a different country to America.
I was like struggling. It was new country. Everything was new. I didn't know how to navigate through and apply for my asylum. And I looked online, the internet. It was like very big application. Didn't know how to do it.
Under immigration law, if someone is going to apply for asylum in the United States, they have to apply within 1 year of entry. And they have to show that they have a well-founded fear of persecution.
By the time we found everyone permanent housing, we were like halfway through that 12-month period. And so only then did we really shift our attention to providing legal services.
In normal circumstances, it would take weeks and weeks to put together an asylum application. We didn't have that kind of time. And the immigration bar in Colorado is pretty limited, so there weren't enough immigration lawyers to do this.
This was going to be extremely difficult because asylum law is death penalty law. People who lose their asylum case, they go back to their home country, and many of them are murdered. It was a monumental lift.
So we came up with the idea of doing these workshops where we would train non-immigration lawyers from the pool of volunteers we had through the Lawyers Committee, and non-lawyers who could do the asylum applications.
And then around that time, the community navigator at Hope Communities just started bringing me Afghan evacuee families.
What is your rule of the government for your visa, for your application, for your work permit? And then we started for workshop.
So I think we trained over 400 people, which was amazing.
We have our Colorado Lawyers Committee attorneys, and then we have non-attorney volunteers from every single walk of life. Teachers, retirees, students, medical professionals. Getting asylum means they can stay in the US, they can continue to work, and in 1 year they're eligible for a green card.
I tell the people should work together to make world better.
We worked collaboratively to refer families to this workshop and to explain to them that applying for asylum is important. Trying to figure out who are my volunteers, who are the clients we're trying to help, how big are their families, what language do they speak, do I have enough interpreters? If I don't, often on a Friday night I would be emailing interpreters and saying, hey, do you know anybody who can come tomorrow?
Each table with a family got a lawyer and 2 non-lawyers, all of whom had gone through the training.
Some workshop we have with like 45 family at one day.
And I've talked to so many people about this project, and they've also said, oh, you know what, I was donating, you know, mattresses and food and all that kind of stuff. So I think the whole city of Denver really rallied around this kind of work.
Hearing about this community and their courage and how much they had to give up to come here really made me want to be a part of that, because I knew it was something that really needed to happen. We needed to support these people that gave up their lives to support us.
Our firm, several staff members stepped up and they heard about the project, and then they said, sure, I will take a Saturday away from my family and go and spend the entire day with an Afghan family.
This process of bringing people into this country is close to everybody's heart.
The lawyers were all Colorado Lawyers Committee lawyers from all of the biggest firms. Without them, it would not have been possible.
And it's an arduous form. Our goal was to fill out an entire 589 in one day. That's really, really hard.
An asylum seeker's entire case can hinge on whether the adjudicating asylum officer or the immigration judge in the court system finds this person to be credible. Working with CLC's legal task force, we brainstormed about how to put in as many safeguards as possible to ensure that what came out of these workshops was the very highest quality that we could pull together.
I think the genius of the Colorado Lawyers Committee is the ability to leverage attorneys' skills beyond the reach of any individual attorney.
You know, we ended up filing, I think, more than 600 applications, which just blew us all away. Amazing. So people walked in there with nothing, and in the afternoon they walked out with an application that they could take and mail. It strikes me as an amazing model for certain kinds of immigration crises where the immigration lawyers just can't do it all. And we pulled in the whole community, legal and non-legal, to handle a problem.
As soon as possible, I would be able to get my approval and serving to the U.S. after this.
I just think it's important for lawyers. I mean, we have an obligation to help the communities that we live in. Being a lawyer gives you a status that allows you to make a difference. And having projects like this enables that process.
I feel like this work was so worthwhile, and it was really timely. So I'm incredibly grateful to all of the people who volunteered.
Right now I'm living in Colorado Springs and going to college and living my life. But I'm so lucky that I got approved my asylum also.
Immigrants are still coming, and we continue to be a nation of immigrants, and we continue to become more and more diverse, and I love that about this country.